I beat every FNAF game in one marathon while high. Bars. Now I want to watch that.
No, you didn't read the title wrong. There's no dupes, no tricks, or clickbaits. This is real. You see, a while ago, I made a promise that once every single year on April 20th, 420, I would do a stream where I got high and tried to complete a challenge. And this year, I wanted to go all out and do the biggest thing that I could think of. The infamous, the perilous, the daunting FNAF Marathon. Here's how it's gonna go down. I have to complete every mainline FNAF game in one sitting. Upon every death and or loss, I will take one weed edible. And to make it a little more interesting, I will also start the marathon with one edible as well. Now, originally, I was going to make it that I take an edible every hour or so, but doing it this way makes it more interesting because I have to try and stay locked in for the entire marathon, regardless of the condition I'm currently in. Now, if you end up watching this video and are confused as to the absence of games like Freddy in Space 2 or Fury's Rage, I simplified this marathon a bit just to make it a little easier on myself. So no spin-offs or DLCs, except FNAF World and Ruin. And this should go without saying. But this was streamed live on Twitch. No, like everything else I do. So make sure you come follow so you can watch streams like this live in the future. And subscribe to the channel as well, I guess. Oh, by the way, do not try this yourself. Please. I am doing this because I am a 100% trained professional. Stop laughing. But yeah, just don't do this. It's probably not a good idea. But anyways, it's time to begin my greatest video idea that I have ever had. Are we ready? In 3, 2, 1. Begin. Oh, shush, phone guy. I know the animatronics get quirky and how does it taste? Not good. What's your prediction?
I'm watching someone beat
edibles you'll take.
Oh my
I mean, I would love to say no more than 1, which is the one I already took. I'd love to say no more than that. We'll have to see about that. Bonnie, are you gonna do anything? Or are you just gonna keep edging the goddamn door? I think he's just gonna keep edging the door. Shit. Oh, wait. Wow! God, he actually came to the door. And he's gone already. Better not die too much before FNAF 4. No. So... Foxy's not gonna show up, is he? How did this happen? I literally just checked the door. Oh, this is not a good start. Okay. Well, let's try to run the power out. Let's try to like run out the power. Maybe that'll help. I'm trying to think of this tactically. Never fucking mind. All right. Well. Oh no.
Great.
That's not a good start. All right. Well. Okay. Well, I'll lock in now. All right. I blame the plague. I don't want to like start pulling out, you know, Night 5, Cam 4B, Flippa strats. I don't want to just do that for night 2. It's night 2. I shouldn't need to do that. But you know, we'll see.
Partly Cloudy will perish to Toy Bonnie during FNAF2 Night 2 and whip out that ganja.
If I die to the goddamn twink, I am going to be so upset. I would never forgive myself. What ending are you going for in FNAF 3? The basic bitch bad ending. The fastest one. For most games, they're gonna go for the fastest ending. Holy shit, Bonnie is already at my door. Whoa. I just had a... I think that must have been the edible. Just had a flash of... nothing else to describe it but whoa. A flash of whoa. That was just night 2. How strong are the edibles? Strong enough that if I took one, entire one, I'd be done for. Which is why I'm cutting them up into 4s. Man, you know, to think we could be done FNAF 1 already. Now, the stream has been up for enough time. We could be done already. But, you know, sucks to suck, I guess. You know, sucks to suck.
Could you let me in faster next
Bonnie, can we stop camping? Not right now. Oh, well, look at Chica. Chica leaves like the millisecond she gets to the door, but Bonnie doesn't care, I guess. Bonnie just wants to be a sack of ass and camp my door. Well, that's...
Meow.
This is bad. I'm getting ganked right now. Absolute gank. Am I gonna run out of power? When did this become Bad News Bears? Bear 5. Bad News Bear 5. Okay, 3 a.m. Oh my god. That's not a good sign. Oh my god. I'm totally running out of power, chat. I'm running out of power this night. 4 a.m. at 26%. That's not gonna cut it. I got ganked at 3 a.m. by the gang. And now I'm just kind of flailing around. 12%? 5 a.m.? Oh no. Alright, I'm gonna stop pressing buttons. My hands are off the keyboard now. I am not gonna press any more buttons. Foxy cannot kill me in the time allotted left. Now we just hope. Valentine Circus for the follow. That was a little close for comfort. That's a split. Hey, sub hour. I'll take it. FNAF 2. Let's go. Let's move on. Alright, I'm gonna save you a little trouble here. Things, unfortunately, did not go very well from here. I only made it past FNAF 2 Night 1 before succumbing to Freddy Fazbear. And by Freddy Fazbear, well, I mean illness. So this might be a little bit of a change of pace, but I'm gonna have to be fully transparent with all of you here for a second. I unfortunately suffer from severe anxiety. It's something that has been plaguing me for only a couple of years now, so it's still quite a new thing for me, and I'm not too sure how to deal with it myself yet. As such, big events like this marathon can and will bring me down to my lowest. I was suffering from the plague as a result of my anxiety. And so I was forced to end the stream there, as I actually just could not continue. It does really suck, as I actually did want to do this marathon, but it would look like that I would end up having to pick it up another time, on another day, as I was clearly not ready or feeling well enough. Is what I would have said if I was a coward! I may be forced to deal with this condition that I damn well don't want to deal with, but I will never let it get in the way of my goals. Even if that goal is playing every single FNAF game while high. So after a nice warm meal, I came back. I say, might as well give it one more try. Let's just begin and pretend that nothing ever happened. Let's just pretend that we never left. Oh boy, I love Five Nights at Freddy's. Don't you guys just love Five Nights at Freddy's? Wow, we have been playing Five Nights at Freddy's for 3 hours now. Wow. You know, if I lock the fuck in, then I won't have to take any more edibles, which means I can recover from those first 2 edibles, get my energy back, lock the fuck in even more, and not die of anxiety death. Because I think the edible is not really helping. You know what? I'm glad
I'm
that
so
we're
sorry,
be
bro.
zooming through night. Or
I'm
FNAF
actually
too
so
soon.
sorry.
Because everything just gets shorter from here. I feel like everything just gets more tolerable. Once we get to security breach, that's when I'm gonna probably be in my zone. Mindfulness mode, okay. Well, I guess I'll turn that on right now. If I can. Now I don't have to do any commentary and I can just breathe.
Please don't eat crows.
I wasn't planning on it. Oh, fuck. Oh,
He's so
am I dead?
done.
No, please. Please. Don't
He's
kill me,
gonna-
Chica. No.
He needs to eat another edible.
Free crack! Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go get some free
No
crack!
innovation.
I remember
no
my
proof.
dog got stoned once because he ate human poo with weed in it.
What?
A long time ago, there was a highly regarded fiddler who was trying to acquire.
Well, thanks
eyeballs.
for the crack.
Where can I find contraceptives? He asked the mother.
Oh.
Immediately, she answered him. Contraceptives is to be found in the house where.
That is FNAF 2 done. And this guy's gonna keep yapping. I'm just gonna split one unread chat message from the Dapper Waffle again. Lock in. Thanks, Waffle. I'll leave mindfulness going for a bit. I'll leave it going for a bit. It's nice to have background noise to drown out
Dog
the
weed.
thoughts.
What?
Did you die all
Okay.
of FNAF 2?
Yeah, for
I
dogs.
did not. I did not die at all
Surely
in
for
FNAF
dogs.
2. Believers won that one. Alright, well now the night one's pretty much done. We're gonna have to actually lock in and start actually fucking trying to play with Peepaw. Play with
Yeah,
Peepaw.
bro.
I don't like that. Lure Peepaw. Have a tango with Peepaw. I want my breath to come back to me. That actually scared the shit out of me.
Expect continued tingling.
I'm tingling, all right. He didn't listen to me. Peepaw didn't listen to me. He 1 in 7 to my ass. You get your ass back to Cam 6, dog. There's a 1 in 7 chance that Peepaw just doesn't fucking listen to you. Yes, I'm switching between Cam 6 and 7. Oddly enough, Cam 6 and 7 is the meta in FNAF 3. Please shut the fuck up. I'm just saying it how it is. Like, it's just true.
Just because you're a wanker, it doesn't mean you should be an athlete.
Just because you're a wanker. Thanks, Inspirable. Do you have sex mode on?
What?
Shit, you're right. Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Keep focusing on your breath. Say to yourself, my mind is attractive to the opposite sex.
Well, that's a little unfair to those who aren't. This feels like gaslighting. That's not very woke of you, Inspirobot. Oh, fuck. Not the ventilation error. He's in a vent! Okay, fuck.
Possible to be both an actor and a prostitute.
What? Well, son of a bitch. That's bad.
Inhale
She said a
Inhale.
Malayan don't know. Bro.
and exhale.
Okay.
You got it. You got it, sir.
Rest
Whoa, 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 whoa.
He died
I can
of
barely hear the peepaw sounds over goddamn mindfulness, man. It's so hard to hear. Like, I don't know if he's venting.
Repeat the mantra. Grief is only in my
Oh
head.
no,
Grief
I'm
is only in my
so
head.
dead.
You want dog weed?
Ignore the connection between the
Oh shit!
Oh, he's so dead.
Oh hi, he's right there at my front window. No, he just ran across. No, Foxy just fucking no! Terrible! Awful!
My soul is remarkable. My soul is remarkable. My soul
He's
is
so fucking dead.
So, we're staring this man down until it switches to 6 a.m. This is our only chance of winning this. Oh no! Oh no! Woo!
Bro, fuck you. My hair.
Last night for FNAF 3. We're almost done 3 FNAF games already. Holy shamoly. We'll keep mindfulness going until we...
Meow, 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 meow.
Hey, you know what? We don't have to deal with Foxy anymore. This is a terrible start to the night, by the way. Oh, fuck.
Without the
Go back.
incorporation of
He didn't go back. He didn't go back. I have an audio and a ventilation error, and he didn't go back. I just got luck diffed. I just got luck diffed.
Think about this ancient folk wisdom.
Ah!
Awareness is merely a reaction.
What? What do you mean he ran across?
Turn off your brain.
He's so fucking dead.
Well, that's a death. We just got luck diffed by Peepaw. Peepaw saw that we were starting to get not high anymore. He was like, nah, before I go, you're taking one, pal.
Feel your brain.
What does it taste like? Bad. It just tastes like bad. It's supposed to be peach flavor, but it just tastes like weed. Yeah, for FNAF 3, I just need to beat this night. It's only night 5.
Hello?
Fucking hell, puppet.
Is reacting relatively to physical
No.
space.
I think we're gonna turn off mindfulness mode because I didn't hear him go an event. I just fucking took 1 and now I'm taking 2 immediately. Are you fucking kidding me?
Bro is sweet
I
maxing.
have to taste like that. Hey, if we die now, at least we get to try a new flavor. A new flavor. See, what I have here is a variety pack full of a bunch of different flavors. You see all
Bro
the
got us
colors
a
in there?
variety
We can
of
go with pineapple. Let's go with
pack of
pineapple
weeds.
next
What the
time,
hell?
I think. How's old Spring Willy treating ya? Spring Willy as opposed to Summer Willy? Or even Winter Willy? Winter Willy. He's on the move. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Frankly, I think we win this. We'll play it safe, but I think we win. M2. No, at my window. Didn't listen to me. Fuck. Let's reset ventilation. And stare.
Hey,
We'll
what's
win.
up?
We'll win. Frankly, chat, I don't think you gotta worry about it. I think this is a dub. I'm
Thank you for the
like
bits.
90%
Stop
confident this
giving
is
me
a dub.
money.
What I say? And that is the good ending? We got the good ending. Okay, split, sure, whatever. But anyways, time for loud gaming. And yes, I'm gonna turn up my base computer volume. Ignore the Doug video I was watching. Yeah, so I'm gonna need to be keeping my peepers peeled for this one. Shh. Got to listen very carefully, very closely, carefully for little fellas. There are fellas. There's fellas in the halls. The first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I should be fine. You right, Woodsy. I want to get through FNAF 4 because I want to play the best game in all of existence, which is FNAF World.
Remember Cloudy, don't forget to mute the ambience in this if you make it a video.
True. Also, Foxy just got in my room, by the way. We're proud of Foxy. What, for coming in the closet? I don't think that's how it works. I think you're supposed to, like, encourage them to come out of the closet. Last I remember. Bed. Closet. Close. I like center myself and lock the fuck in because I'm starting to get high again. And I'm not going to be able to do this just mindlessly. I need to actually think about what I'm
Stop
doing.
giving me
I just want to get
bits.
to FNAF
Stop
World.
it.
Be high in FNAF World. That's a good place to be high. Skip the rest of FNAF 4, dude. I wish. Nice. Oh, my stomach doesn't feel like it's inside out, you know? That's good. Hey, that's a bonus. I think I need to actually start getting some stretches in. Wake myself up. Feel better. Feel better, Cloudy! What are you gonna do for FNAF World? We're gonna do Kill Scott ending. We're just gonna do Kill Scott. Or no, Kill Owl, because I'm gonna do normal mode. Kill Owl. Unless we want to do hard mode. Do we want to do hard mode? If we do, I would just need to get more Halloween characters, which means I have to play more of the mini games.
Free crack! Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go get some free crack!
Actually, fuck. Oh my god. Oh. Hi, Bonnie. Closet. You fucking. Thank you for the follow, Thomas. Thank you. I'm so on edge. What being high does to a motherfucker. Steps. Walked away. Back to bed. Flash. Right. Left. We go left door. We go left now. And then we win. That is how you win. 5 Nights at Freddy's for night 2. Last night with the gang, and then we go do the Fredbear. Then we do Fredbear. This is technically the hardest night, so I do have to lock in. Oh shit, did Foxy get in? He didn't? What? Have I actually just managed to keep Foxy out this entire night? I didn't know I was the GOAT at FNAF 4, dude. When the fuck was I the FNAF 4 GOAT? Since always, obviously. Gulp. Oh my lord. Nice! We kept Foxy out the entire night. Holy shit, I'm lightheaded. Oh my god. Okay, wait, I need to lock the fuck in now. Hold on. It's Nightmare Fredbear time. We must be very quiet, chat, though. I know, stream is quiet. We mustn't be too loud. Or else Fredbear's gonna get us. That was a real laugh. Alright, 1 real laugh. Shit. That was a real laugh.
Oh shit.
2.
So
I have to
fucking
turn up
cool.
my computer volume to hear this, so all your sound effects are twice as loud. Which is probably why it's jump scaring me. Oh shit. Okay, 3 out of 4. Yes.
Great job.
Oh shit, I'm taking a risk, I'm taking a risk, I'm taking a risk. Risk's not worth it, he's in the fucking closet! Okay, that was all real laughs. You can't fool me. He's fooling me. He's actively fooling me right now. What? Where the fuck is he?
Oh shit.
I found him. What? Dude. What the fuck do you mean, man? Oh my god. Let me cut off a gummy. Boom. You know, pineapple does taste better. Definitely does taste better. Hopefully this doesn't end my life. No!
Already, just fuck his ass. Just fuck it. Somebody just fuck it already. Somebody
That laugh got me.
fuck it. Somebody just fuck it already, bro.
I see through your facade, you little shit.
Pineapple tastes better. Yeah, bro, it makes your cum neutral.
That's good.
Neutral flavored.
That's good right there. Oh, that feels
Neutral flavored cum.
so good. All right, who's ready to see the crying child teleporting to Fredbear's mouth? Fred, get 1, 2. Crunch! That's a split. Let's fucking go. FNAF 4 is done. Now we're moving on to FNAF World. Oh, yes! We get to play fun games now! We get to play fun games now! Yay! New game, erase data, adventure. I said hard mode, right? Yeah, hard mode. Now, the big thing is because we're gonna be playing hard mode, we're gonna need more Halloween characters, which means we're gonna have to play the Halloween mini games. So I will eat an edible if I die or like game over in any of the Halloween mini games. So like in Chica's Magic Rainbow, I'll only take an edible if I like run out of lives, not just like upon a death. I feel like that's fair. And in Freddy in Space, if I lose, yeah. In this, if I lose, yeah. I can't submit CMR, dude. I've submitted CMR like twice. No, I haven't done it that often. I think what I'm gonna get, so Nightmare Young, which we're getting now. I want to get Jacobani. I'm gonna get Scott Coffin and Chipper. I think those are the 4 characters I'm gonna get. Actually, you know what? No, I'm only gonna get 3 characters. I'll leave 1 space for a random character that can show up. Oh, it's just that easy. Okay, I'm doing Chica's Magic fucking Rainbow, where she is Chica and she's magical and rainbow.
Hey, what's up?
All right, we
I'm doing
want
well.
Scott.
I guess.
Scott or Chipper? Who should we get? Scott or Chipper? Because I got it anyway. I'm goated at Chica's Magic Rainbow. Whoa. Just lock in. I think we go for Scott. I think you guys have a point. I think we go for Scott here. Jump! No, eyeballs, I hesitated. I'm such a dumbass. You cannot be dying on CMR right now, man. Fuck! It's eyeballs, Cloudy. Please lock in. God damn it. I know it's because I'm the high. Oh my god. I'm actually like sucking ass at eyeballs. I feel like they can't entirely be my fault though, man. Like, these eyeballs are screwing with me, dog. Yes. Yes. God damn it. All right. We did it. Whew. Oh man, this is so much better. Wow. I like actually feeling good. Let's go get endless speed, shall we, chat? Actually, you know what? I lied. Even now we have auto shield. Nice. Okay, what was I doing again? This is auto regen. I don't need auto regen. Where was defense? Jacko bombs. 4th wall. 4th wall again. Gloom balloon. What does I do again? I don't remember. Power down. I'll take it. Rainy day. Yes, rainy day. Yes. Kill his ass. Yes, yes, yes. Eat ass. Anyways, I guess I can just grab this chip. I don't remember what this chip is. Counter bite. Sure. Gonna go bye now. Bye. Okay, goodbye. I beat them. What? Well, how did I counter? Wait, it was counter bite. Counter bite my fucking goat. Super goon. Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Bro, he's so fucking high.
Whoa!
This is me every day without even taking edibles.
Let's go! That was so unbelievably close. Oof. All right. Time for that, but
The
again,
mood.
that's not
Right?
very nice.
You need edibles to do this shit?
Jackobombs.
That's
Come on.
crazy.
Bring the pain. Bring the pain. Bring the pain.
Yeah, let's watch this.
This is pure waste.
I'm tired of like watching. Enough.
There are a lot of rules out there that didn't make engineering sense to me. At some point, safety just is pure waste. I think I can do this just as safely by breaking the rules.
Thank God for billionaires. I mean, what would we do as a society without them? These powerful men and women rose to the top 1% through hard work and dedication. And as a result, they've earned the right to control our lives and not pay taxes. or other
Ain't need
privileges
edible
like
storage mate in
buying
your
an
chat,
entire
luckily.
neighborhood or
Bro.
going into space for a few minutes. But
Fuck
every now and then
you!
you get
You
some
hate
rich
me.
guy whose ego is so
just really hate
inflated
me.
that they genuinely try to compete with the laws of common sense. See, scamming the public out of their wealth isn't enough, and now he thinks he can scam other rich folks.
Anything when you're trying something outside the box, people inside the box think you're nuts.
Meet OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush. And while technically he's not a billionaire, he still followed the rich man scammer playbook. You're gonna keep hearing me refer to these folks as scammers because, well, they're scammers. A bunch of cheap-ass penny-pinching parasites. Being a billionaire is the ultimate form of scammer. Your entire wealth is based on exploitation, wage theft, tax loopholes, and convincing the public that hoarding unimaginable amounts of money somehow makes you a fucking genius. Well, this genius in question didn't score high on his exam. In fact, he flunked. Out of life. This happy camper had the genius idea of visiting the Titanic while completely ignoring industry regulations.
Once the pressure vessel is, you're certain it's not going to collapse on everybody, everything else can fail. Your thrusters can go, your lights can go, you're still going to be safe.
Unless you've been living under a rock at the bottom of the ocean, in that case you've probably met Stockton in person, you already know what happened. The mission was a complete failure, with Stockton and the rest of the crew dying as a result of the Titan submersible violently imploding. OceanGate immediately shut down afterwards, and the deep sea exploration community gave him the most expensive I told you so in history. Here we are 3 years later, and you can't help but think about how preventable this whole mess was. I mean, the sub was controlled by a Logitech controller, for fuck's sake. Yeah, we can continue to make jokes about it all day, but what
This
happens to
chat
them
is
is part of a
edible.
pattern that
What?
all these rich folks follow. And they're so consumed by wealth and ego that they legitimately believe that they're invincible. We already know that's nothing new. Rich folks have always acted like this. But this modern, obnoxious version of it that every single one of these scumbags has tried to emulate is one popularized
Bro,
by
I
none
got the
other
fucking
than
swords
Silicon
wrong.
Valley.
Shit.
Well, you have to innovate.
Innovation.
Innovation.
I hate this.
What makes
Well,
a
it's my fault for
hyper-capitalist,
drawing this.
ego-driven shithole like Silicon Valley so insufferable is the fact that it took all these scammers and gave them a mythology. It takes your average, flavorless, white bread personality dude who just happened to become
Coconut soda.
very wealthy through extreme exploitation and privilege and repackages them as some sort of visionary or one-of-a-kind genius. The media then goes and creates a mythology around these folks that acts as a shield. You get these influencers, magazines, podcasts, biopics that give them
whatever.
a platform to maintain that illusion. And then you top all that off with the fans of these folks themselves that glaze them as if they're superheroes. It works so well because you end up with millions of working class folks, you know, the very people getting scammed by these parasites, defending them at every turn because they've been sold the lie that if they work hard enough and think outside the box, then they too can own a sweatshop in an exploited nation.
Just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 hour,
Yeah,
80 to 100
okay. Fucking
hour
Elon
weeks
Musk.
every week.
Yeah,
You keep
bro.
smelling your own farts, eventually you're not going to notice when you actually end up shitting yourself. Case in point being Mermaid Man over here. But Stockton was just one man with an ego. I mean, surely more won't let their hubris override common sense, right? Right? One of these days I'll learn.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Elon Musk is working, of course, with President Donald Trump to find waste in federal government agencies, and that includes the Social Security Administration.
We see a future where intelligence is a utility, like electricity or water, and people buy it from us on a meter.
Our accidental drilling spill again in the Gulf is a tragedy that should have never happened. And to all those affected, I want to say, we are deeply sorry.
Look, call me insensitive if you want, but I don't know. Maybe it's okay to laugh when all these self-proclaimed masters of the universe get humbled by said same universe. What happened to OceanGate is the final form of Silicon Valley karma. Scammers so addicted to their genius image that they genuinely think they can outsmart reality itself. That being said, for the next half hour, let us poor working class folks come together and
had tails, if humans had tails, we'd probably find unique ways to use them. Oh my god! Oh, subscribe. If humans
enjoy one of the few luxuries we still have, watching rich assholes get their karma.
And if this country didn't have unions and child labor laws, maybe your generation would understand the value of hard work.
I can already hear some of y'all hooting and hollering, complaining that I'm being insensitive. Ugh, how could you, Pillboy? Making fun of a poor, innocent man who died in such a tragedy. He didn't harm anybody. As if you expect me to shed tears for an exploitative hack who spent years selling people a service that experts repeatedly warned was unsafe. I've noticed a lot of y'all who demand sympathy for these rich folks operate on a double standard. Y'all never have any smoke for these guys when they dodge taxes, crush unions, or cripple entire communities. All of a sudden, oh, that's just business. But I'm supposed to feel bad when that same business model blows him to smithereens. But hey, I mean, he earned his money the hard way. This video is just me using humor to dissect how at the end of the day, greed and ego will always catch up to a capitalist. And we'll examine this through two ways. First, through this genius mythology that they've created, and
go to
through their
Vegas.
sinister methods themselves. But first, we need to break down that mythology. Let's find out how all these egotistical assholes manage to use the media to fool millions of people that enough money and resources can magically make you a genius. Hey, who knows? By the end of this video, maybe you too can be a rich elite.
I need to fucking draw this
I'd like to be
properly.
remembered as an innovator. You're remembered for the rules you break.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You're never gonna be a billionaire. Like, never. I know we've been taught when we were younger that if we would just work really hard or come up with some really innovative idea, then we can capitalize off of it and get stupid rich through hard work. I mean, who wouldn't want that? None of that is rooted in real life. The reality of what it takes to actually become a billionaire involves you literally exploiting the systems around you. You're leveraging the capital and power you already have to extract more resources than you're giving back. It literally has nothing to do with hard work. If that was the case, the workers and contractors that make these people rich would be just as wealthy. It's all about ownership. Most people don't understand just how much $1 billion is. If you give a person $1,000 a day for an entire year, that's enough for most of us to live comfortably for generations. You'd still have to live for almost 3,000 years to become a billionaire. We're talking about someone who accumulates more wealth than they could ever spend in multiple lifetimes. The number of people who reach that level is so microscopic, and even getting there requires a combination of factors that has shit to do with the little self-help fairy tales they've always tried to sell us. You're not gonna rich dad, poor dad your way into becoming rich.
But when you put it like that, we don't sound so cool. How's the world gonna worship us if they know how evil we are?
You're not supposed to say the quiet part out loud. Most folks nowadays are starting to wake up and see just how parasitic this class is. But there's still not enough outrage amongst the general public to want to actively dismantle the system. If anything, you got folks that just want to take their spot. You know, when I become a billionaire one day, I'll be one of the ethical ones. Right. The only reason why people entertain this idea of being a billionaire is because they've cultivated a very specific mythology around themselves. We'll call it the genius myth. Basically the idea that people at the top deserve to be there because they're uniquely intelligent, or they've done something so groundbreaking with their wealth, and that makes them qualified to lead society. It's a bunch of stories we tell ourselves to justify why a small handful of rich folks get to hoard more wealth than entire countries. And mind you, this mythology applies to every single one of these giants in Silicon Valley. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, and yes, even your boy, Stockton Rush, although he's not a billionaire. There's a reason why you see all of these clowns try to make themselves out to be the real-life Tony Stark, you know, minus Tony's intelligence and charisma. And they all follow this myth because it protects their wealth and convinces everyday folks that one day, if they try hard enough, they can be just like them. Well, if you've got a couple extra $1 million to put down in capital and are willing to violently repress workers globally and strip them of community and resources, then sure, this myth applies to you. Let's find out how to create one. First things first, you have to craft your myth. When you think about it, the average person doesn't get introduced to these folks as just wealthy businessmen. There's always a character version of them that's being played.
You know, you've got this new look, the chains, the shearling jacket. Everything you do seems to become a meme.
At least make them good names.
Right, well, it seems like...
Notice how every single Silicon Valley billionaire gets packaged with some kind of origin story. You know, one guy's a college dropout who founded the company in his parents' garage. Another was the awkward nerd or the eccentric kid who had this crazy vision that nobody else could see. It's the same message every time. This person thinks different and they stand out amongst us ordinary folks. The reason why so much emphasis is put on them being special is because it presents their wealth as the reward for their so-called exceptional intelligence. What you're essentially doing is making them into the main character. Because these guys are such visionaries and geniuses, it only makes sense that they were able to capitalize on the world around them and acquire so much power. At the end of the day, the public still wants to believe the myth, because to them it's proof that the American dream works. After all, if you sell them a story that this ultra-wealthy guy came from humble beginnings and worked his way up to get his wealth, it makes them feel like they can do it too. The problem is none of that shit is true. Hardly any of these men came from humble working class beginnings. They love to sell you the story of Bill Gates being this college dropout who founded Microsoft in his dorm.
There's a lot of people who are forecasting that there'll be software stores just like there are record stores today, and that there'll be thousands and thousands of those. And I think I'd have to agree with that.
But they leave out the part where he attended elite private schools with rare computer access for that era. On top of that, he came from a well-connected, wealthy, upper-middle-class family. He had access and opportunities most kids in the 70s can only dream about.
Yeah, we'll do it.
But
What do you mean?
Jeff Bezos. You know, the mythology states Amazon started off as a bookstore in his garage. How humble, Jeff.
Amazon.com is never going to have any of that tactile stuff. We're never going to have any, cafes or lattes or anything like that. But we can make Amazon.com every bit as
Bro, in
fun
like
and
50
engaging.
years,
They
we'll have your
about how his parents invested
5,000
hundreds
Aussies.
of thousands of dollars in startup capital, or the fact that he was already the senior vice president of a hedge fund by 1992, 2 whole years before he even founded Amazon. And how could we forget Captain Apartheid himself? Elon loves to flaunt himself as this quirky kid who ran nightclubs out of his frat house, and then he went on to found PayPal and Tesla, and soon he's gonna go to Mars.
I want the Jiangxi. What do you mean?
The mythology
You're the one who doesn't want the
For
Jiangxi.
starters, he didn't found Tesla.
What?
He joined as an early
I'm
investor
waiting
and
for
poured
the
money into the
for
company
the dog.
and eventually became the public
Okay,
face
now,
most
okay.
people associated with.
Now if you put it that
That's
way,
the recurring theme with Elon.
I will do
the
it.
Myth likes to treat him like this lone inventor,
I'm just
personally
waiting.
engineering
Come
every
on.
breakthrough. When in reality, these companies are built by massive teams of scientists, programmers, designers, and engineers. The mythology rewrites all this collective labor into one man's genius. Oh, and don't forget all the blood money that his daddy got from all those emerald mines. But what about Mermaid Man?
You're so
over here?
soon.
I'm sure Stockton
Fuck
earned
you.
his money the right way. I mean, he's just an explorer. What's wrong with a rich guy wanting to push the boundaries of deep sea exploration? Nah, but this dude came from money too. Contrary to
Soon
popular
as
belief, he wasn't a billionaire.
Bro,
but
fuck
his
you.
family was still well connected and wealthy long before Ocean Gate was even a thing. In fact, his lineage traces back to some of the very folks who helped shape America's political and economic elite. We're talking oil tycoons. He literally is old money. This is not including the various aerospace ventures he contributed to. While he himself may have only been a multi-millionaire, if there's one thing about rich folks is that they don't really like to risk their own money. Why risk yours when you can get somebody else to make an investment? It's actually pretty easy. You just put together a little sales pitch, sprinkle in a few buzzwords, and get a bunch of other wealthy people to bankroll it for you. You know, think of it like a little cute little party trick. All these guys have the same playbook. They like to butter up their origin stories and make themselves look like these innovative geniuses so that it makes the fact that they're just a bunch of greedy capitalists look less obvious. Now, you're probably thinking, Pillboy, that's obvious. I mean, nobody falls for that shit. We know they're just a bunch of greedy mosquitoes. You know, but unfortunately, there's too many folks out there that buy into the mythology. And this is because the media has an entire ecosystem dedicated to keeping it alive. You didn't think I was going to make a video without bringing in a little media analysis, did you? That brings us to the second half of reinforcing the myth. Once you got it crafted, you have to maintain that narrative that anybody who's quote-unquote smart enough or willing to be on that humble grind set can magically one day be filthy rich. This is specifically where the media comes in. They've spent the past few decades treating these folks like they're celebrities. You see it in magazines, interviews, talk shows, biopics. How can we make this person seem so cool that you end up spending more time trying to defend them rather than question their means of acquiring wealth and power? And when I say defend, I don't literally mean, leave my favorite billionaire alone. although some of y'all exist. I'm more so talking about their existence and how it's so ingrained in our daily lives that most folks can't envision a world without them. Notice how every major problem in society somehow gets framed around some billionaire showing up to solve it. Computing, energy, shipping, digital media, commerce. The media always frames it as these guys leading the charge to some breakthrough in the industry, and this is intentional because it forces you to associate innovation with wealth.
Well, you have to innovate.
Innovation.
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 They really love that word, innovation. And it's scary because it works so damn well. If you look at the mythology, you end up attributing human achievement to them rather than the collective human labor it took to pull off said achievement. Let's take Thomas Edison, for example, and really you can throw Steve Jobs into this with how much similarities they share in the fact that neither one of them were inventors or creators, but they leveraged their resources to gain access to people who were. Both of them had armies of researchers and designers and engineers building the technology that made these giants what they are. But like we said, when it's time to tell the story, the mythology only tends to focus on those who hold the capital. There's a reason why when you hear names like Edison or Jobs, you don't tend to think of names like Francis Upton or William Joseph Hammer or John Crucy, Lewis Latimer, Jeff Raskin, Andy Hertzfeld, Johnny Ive, or even Scott Forstall. You understanding the importance of collective labor is dangerous. That's why the myth requires that you focus on the individual. They need you to be reminded why you need these rich guys. But when you step outside of that mythology, you really see how 9 times out of 10, the solutions that these geniuses are trying to sell back to society are problems they directly contribute to. The whole thing about capitalism is that it's not designed to solve problems. It literally functions by finding ways to profit off of them. I mean, if you were to solve some of humanity's biggest issues, then the money well dries up. The system has no incentive to actually eliminate the issue, but because these guys have such a large mythology around them, they can offer quote-unquote solutions to issues that they have a hand in. Let's go back to Jeff. Amazon gets praised as this revolutionary force that made shopping online easier and more convenient.
What the hell?
But they actively use predatory practices to squeeze smaller businesses out of markets. So now that the entire world is literally dependent on Amazon's AWS infrastructure, Bezos gets celebrated as this visionary who transformed commerce. Same thing can be said about the internet. A lot of folks don't realize just how much the early pioneers of the internet and the World Wide Web intended for it to be a decentralized space. The whole appeal was that no single corporation or government could control how people communicated or shared information or built entire communities online. But you fast forward a few decades later and now a tiny handful of tech companies control pretty much every aspect of how we interact with the digital space. But what about Stockton Rush? Again, he wasn't a billionaire, nor did he have any massive control over the industry. But he still followed the same scamming ass ethos that the rest of them have. He saw one of the most famous tragedies in human history and asked himself, how can I make money off of this?
That was always the plan.
Yeah. Stockton started out with more like altruistic, like, you know, we were going to do it for research and whatnot. And then when he learned he could charge $105,000 a ticket or something like that, it was strictly paying passengers. And then now it went to, I don't know, 250,000, something like that. So that changed the motive a bit, but it was always putting people inside passengers,
actually
paying passengers.
And there was no additional safety considerations or safety factors built in for having untrained passengers.
I'm just really excited.
Yeah, right. So they called them mission specialists because I think you couldn't have passengers or something, or paying passengers. So I think he called them mission specialists. I think there's a technicality there that he was trying to get around, but it was always, at least the pilot was the one that knew what to do in an emergency. And the people that went on board, we told them, here's the mask that needed on if there was a fire inside, here's water if something happens, and there was food.
In the end, Stockton wasn't some altruistic philanthropist who wanted to revolutionize deep-sea exploration for the betterment of mankind.
I don't know.
He was just another scummy rich guy who thought he could convince wealthy thrill seekers to pay stupid amounts of money for something they could just brag about at fancy dinner parties. None of these guys are doing anything new. These are greedy capitalists feeding into their own bullshit mythology they've crafted over the years so that they can try to justify why they get to wield so much power and wealth over the rest of us. The next time a rich guy calls himself a genius, I want you to take a needle and poke a hole in his sub all jokes aside, you
I'll
need
be
more than
very
just the
selfish
mythology around
to
you
myself
being a
this
successful
time.
billionaire.
And
you still need to scam people.
invest in
Problem
it.
is, too many rich folks let their ego get in the way before they can cross the finish line. So in this next section, I'm gonna teach you how to do exactly that. We're gonna recreate OceanGate without killing ourselves.
Just really nice.
Yes, finally. All those bureaucrats and researchers couldn't stop me from achieving my dream.
Is it supposed to be making that noise?
Quiet, you're ruining my innovation. Now it's time to show them how a real risk taker makes it to the bottom of the ocean.
Fucking animated this shit, what the hell? This reconnect controller. That's crazy. Bro, they animated this shit.
If you're watching this section of the video, then that means I was able to successfully make it to the bottom of the ocean, see the Titanic, and make it back without dying. Unlike someone. And I know some of y'all don't believe me, but that's okay, I have proof. In the last section, we went over the mythology on how these billionaires protect themselves in society. The thing is, you still have to go out there and exploit people. That shit is just to defend you once you've already obtained 1% status. As much as Stockton might have thought that he could compete with the big dogs and use their mythology, the truth is he was just really bad at exploiting people. That's basically your one job as a multi-millionaire, and he couldn't even do that. So, in this section, I'm gonna give you a little Krusty Krab training video. I'm gonna put myself in Stockton's shoes, and we're gonna run OceanGate how a real evil rich guy would do it. None of that fake demon shit that he was on. See me, I don't have an ego. I'll eat Captain Crunch for dinner sometimes. So let's get started. Step 1, protect your capital. Like we said earlier, the rich don't stay rich by using their own money. They use other people's money in the form of investments. If the business succeeds, I get richer, but if it fails, then hell, we all lose money. But it's not gonna hurt me nearly as much if I were to put all my eggs into one basket. The whole point is to mitigate risk by transferring as much of it as you can to other people as possible. And you're probably thinking, wow, yeah, that's really shitty, but you're a billionaire. Since when do you care about morality? You don't know what that word means. See, the average working class person like you and I can't afford to play this game. One bad investment, hell, a couple bad paychecks, and we risk losing everything. These rich folks on the other hand,
why is Maxor on off guy?
Deck. Because you have access to more resources, you're essentially allowed to fail upward. The same way the working class is responsible for giving you this wealth, they're also allowed to catch the bullet for you. Let's take WeWork for example. That company spent years burning through all their investor money while trying to market themselves as the future of office space. So when the whole thing started to fall apart, thousands of employees started to be laid off, while the founder Adam Neumann walked away with a package worth over $1 billion as a part of SoftBank's rescue deal. You can shift the blame onto your employees while your rich buddies bail you out. But let's also use Uber as an example. Why own a massive fleet of cars when you can convince millions of working class people to supply the cars, pay for the gas, handle the maintenance, handle the insurance, and absorb the wear and tear? None of that risk is on you. If business slows down or costs go up, then sure, yeah, the company might lose a little revenue, but the driver is the one stuck taking the hit. See, now Stockton actually understood this concept better than most of y'all might think. The OceanGate wasn't funded entirely out of his own pocket. He still had investors. Financially speaking, he was playing the game correct on paper. Where he fucked up is that he put too much of his own personal money and reputation into a single high-risk venture. This is why you don't put all your eggs into one carbon fiber basket. If my scam depends entirely on one experimental submarine surviving a trip to the bottom of the ocean, then I already fucked up. Who the hell is gonna trust that?
There were economic issues with the company asking us to forego getting paid for periods of time with the promise that they would get us caught up in paychecks, you know, after the first of the year. They asked for volunteers, and you know, I don't think anybody did it, but you know, it was clear that the company was economically very stressed, and as a result, that they were making decisions and doing things that resulted in, I felt that the safety was just being compromised way too much.
Investors already didn't want to take a risk on your rinky-dink sub, so now you're borrowing cash and pouring your own money into the thing.
He tried to explain the mission specialist aspect to it. I talked about the receiving any sort of compensation aspect. The conversation basically ended when he, after explaining that the Coast Guard had tried to, I don't know, shut him down in California, and that he wouldn't operate there anymore, but that if the Coast Guard became a problem, that he would buy himself a congressman and make it go away.
Mr. McCoy, is that a direct quote?
He said I would buy a congressman and make, basically, the problems would go away at that point in time.
Because he had no real way of managing risk by pushing it onto the people beneath him, OceanGate was solely dependent on proving that the Titan itself worked. So when the shit ended up imploding, everything else went right along with the sub. That literally brings us to step 2. Build a sub that actually works. Stockton was a cheap ass. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the most obvious part. Like, he'd still probably be alive today if he just followed common sense. All evil rich people know how to cut corners. The more corners you cut, the more profit you keep for yourself. The problem is, Stockton, dude, you literally had no corners to cut. Your shit barely worked. Now, I work for which is no stranger to safety violations and poor working conditions. They found out a long time ago that they could cut corners in terms of safety because everyone loves this company so much and won't give a shit about us, the workers. But when companies do this, they at least have a few standards in place to avoid a serious lawsuit and keep the place functioning. The Titan sub was literally a sinking coffin. The pressure hull was made out of carbon fiber, when industry standard materials typically call for titanium alloys. Reason why they don't use carbon fiber is because, well, it behaves unpredictably under repeated compression cycles, you know? Stuff he would have known had he actually went through the right channels.
So how many years old is this sub?
Well, we had to remake the carbon fiber hull one time because the last one wasn't as well manufactured as it should have been.
Oh, great.
And
Crack.
Bro, that shit is so scary.
Inside this. We have
Why
4
is
days
it
of life
popping?
support. That is the safest place on planet Earth. The entire world could be destroyed. A nuclear bomb could take out the ship. And for 4 days, we're alive. At the end of 4 days, we're dead. But for 4 days, it's nothing. 100 million pounds of force. It is like we just put you in the world's safe.
The main hull itself had manufacturing
you pay like
defects. They found
how much was
voids,
it?
wrinkles, delamination of the
$250,000?
carbon fiber. There were communication issues, electronic errors. They literally had an acoustic warning that the sub was going to implode a week before it happened. Like, the fucking Ed and Eddie boys could have built a better scam than this. Remember the little Monkey Land park they built? That shit lasted longer than this sub. And last but not least, how could I forget the Logitech controller literally piloting this up?
I had a fucking Logitech controller.
I don't even have a joke for that. Everything that wasn't supposed
Bro, with
to happen
$250,000, I'll put it all on black.
He had said that's what we
multiply
expected.
that shit.
That's the carbon fiber seasoning. I've never heard of seasoning a hole.
Seasoning a hole.
We were looking at the data, and I told Stockton, I said, look, we don't know what good looks like. What I do know is it shouldn't look like that.
And all this happened because he was cheap. But someone like him will never admit it. He tried to claim that it was him being an innovator and that he was revolutionizing the industry.
I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller. There were a lot of rules out there that didn't make engineering sense to me. There's a limit. You know, at some point, safety just is pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed. Don't get in your car. Don't do anything. Yeah. I think I can do this just as safely by breaking the rules.
You can't streamline a design that doesn't work. If I buy a car and I take out the airbag and take out the brakes, the seat belt, if I take out half the damn engine and replace the steering wheel with a fucking Xbox controller, that's not me streamlining shit. That's literally the problem with all this Silicon Valley disruption bullshit. They act like every industry standard is just some arbitrary rule invented by haters or bureaucrats. No, these industry standards exist because somebody already tried the dumb shit you're about to do and people got hurt. They try to make being cheap look sexy and smart. He also tried to pull the diversity gimmick.
When I started the business, one of the things you'll find, there are
debt.
other sub-operators out there, but they typically have gentlemen who are ex-military submariners, and you'll see a whole bunch of 50-year-old white guys.
I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology. But a 25-year-old, who's a subpilot.
Fuck you, nursing student. You can pat my head now.
We've really tried to get very intelligent, motivated, younger
Louis outcome.
involved.
Yeah, bro.
We're doing things that are
It's for Natasha.
I saw a lot of idiots online take this clip and try to make it seem like, oh, well, you look at
This
that
is the other
guy
one.
got the Ocean Gate guy killed. When no, he got killed because he tried to build an experimental vehicle with no engineering standards or regulations. Had nothing to do with anybody's gender or skin color. He had a massive ego and hired whoever was willing to build his giant death machine without calling him out for being a total idiot. Promise me, if the engineers been white men, he would still be 6 feet deep in a pineapple under the sea. The funny part is the people blaming DEI are accidentally proving my point. They're so obsessed with